So here we are at the teleprompter PC, and we're going to prepare up our script for using in the Autocue. So I'll show you how you can make some changes to the text itself so that it presents nicely for reading, and a little bit about how to set the speed of it so that you can read it at a pace that works for you. So the first thing is you're going to come with your USB that has the transcript and put it into the teleprompter PC USB slot over here, and then you can open it up over here. You've probably already done the work preparing this in Word, so there may not be too much you have to do here, but the application we use to run the teleprompter is called Qflip. When you open Qflip, you can go to the File menu and Open as White Text, and then we can select our Word document, and it will open our text into this as white on black, which should be quite easy to read. So you could almost go with this, except that this monitor is exactly what's transposed over there, and from 2 meters away this will be a little bit hard to read. So there's a few things we can do to this to make it more easily read at a distance. The first thing is that it's very small font size. So using normal word controls, you can do Control A to select all of the text, and this little button here with the 2 coloured letters is the font controls. We can change the size to at least 85. That makes the font size nice and big for reading, and now we can probably read it quite well at the distance we'll be standing at. Another thing is that by reading it all over on the left, your eyes are going to be constantly reading back and forward from that side of the screen. So by centering the text, your eyes will kind of be contained a little bit more to the middle. So we can center it as well. Once again, Control A to select all, and up here you can justify it to the center. Now you'd just about be ready to go with this, but there are some other things about it that will help make it easy to read. One of the things is having less numbers of words on each line. As well as being less that you have to flip back and forward with your eyes, you can break up the sentences into bits which are easily manageable bits of text to get through. So we might change this next sentence, which is quite long, into a few extra lines. So you can just select the bits and hit enter to make a new line break. Another thing that's really useful to do is to add extra line breaks and break up the paragraphs with a gap in between, as well as helping you know when to intone down at the end of a concept or finish off what you're saying in a way that sounds like it's conclusive. It also helps slow the pace down a little bit, and it's always better to go slower than faster in the reading. It helps you to relax, but it also makes it easier to edit. So I'm going to add extra line breaks to break up these concepts into separate paragraphs. So now we've prepared up the text in a way that will be pretty easy to read once we get going. The last thing to do is to set a speed for it so that it is something that we don't have too much trouble keeping up with. In the Qflip app, just underneath where the text goes, there's a slider here to set the speed, the initial speed that it will start at. I recommend setting it to about 8, which I have done here, and then see what happens when you start it with the lightning bolt. So the text comes up at the speed that we set, and just by standing here you can have a bit of a practice to see if it's possible to keep up without the text going too far off the screen. If that kind of feels okay as a speed, then you can exit again just to bring it back to this menu, and then you can hit the start to go over and do the recording, and it will start back from the start. And then you can do the fine tuning over there at the foot pedal. All right, now we're going over on the Autocue here. You'll see the text come up in a second. So that's at the sort of speed that we set. And with the foot controller now, all we need to do is pause it at the point what the text is on screen we need to read, and then we can read, and then hit the pause button again, and it will keep going. So this is worth doing a couple of times before you really record, because you may find that changing the speed is necessary for something that you can manage, or that doesn't seem like it's going too slow. But ideally, by setting the speed over on the computer first, you can mostly concentrate on the play-pause with the foot pedal instead of trying to change the speed with this on the fly as well, because it can get a little hard to keep up. You've also kind of got to guess where the button is, and it can be a little harder to control. So by setting the speed at the computer and then just using the foot pedal to play and pause, you can concentrate more on your presentation.